Hey guys, Harris here. I'm in Vegas at CES 2020, first CES of the new decade. Incoming comments about how the new decade starts next year. It's a new decade. Anyway, I spent all morning with Elgato at the Corsair press announcement, who, by the way, helped sponsor this trip out here and who also sponsored this video. So hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored, hashtag Elgato owns my firstborn son. Whatever the FTC needs me to put on this video, sponsored video. Thank you, Elgato. But yeah, saw a bunch of really cool new streaming tech that I'm excited to talk to you about. One of them in particular I got my hands on, and it's very interesting. The other one being something that they teased that I feel like I've got a pretty good guess of what it is. I'm hopeful about it. So let's talk about that. I think if done right, and also if I'm right about what it is, I think it could be a pretty big game changer, something every new streamer wants. Anyway, welcome back to the Alpha Gaming channel. My name is Harris Heller. I am your stream doctor. Let's talk about some cool new streaming tech. So yeah, Corsair press announcement. A lot of really cool stuff announced by Corsair. A lot of cool stuff announced by Corsair's little children companies that they bought. I think that's what they're legally called, children companies. For example, Origin re-released their Big O PC, which is a fully capable PC on one side, and then on the back side there is either a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox, depending on which one you buy, which is also liquid cooled, by the way. And also, Big O is definitely not a euphemism for big orgasm. Corsair launched a bunch of things, including showing off a new concept for a tempered glass side panel that has built-in LED diodes that are like invisible when they're not on. Really cool idea. Scuf announced a new pillow, so okay. But Elgato had 4 main announcements to make, so let's run through them. First off, they integrated Stream Deck capabilities into the side programmable buttons of one of the Corsair keyboards. I think it's a nice touch. You got 6 buttons over there, so it's basically a Stream Deck Mini built into your keyboard. And then they also added software so that you can have a little overlay on your screen that shows what all 6 buttons are in case you forget, because they're not little LED screens like the actual Stream Deck. I asked them if you could use one of the 6 buttons to make the overlay disappear and reappear, and they said no, but then they also started writing stuff down, so if you see that, just know. They also released the Keylight Air, which is a smaller, more affordable version of the Keylight. I feel like I've heard that before somewhere. Let's get some affordable streamer lights in 2020. I probably can't fully take credit for this product, but I'm going to anyway. But yeah, it's basically just exactly what it sounds like. It's a smaller key light, which the smaller size doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, I've never turned my key light up above 25% anyway, so I wouldn't be worried about the brightness. I'm interested to see how a smaller surface area affects shadows on the face and if it makes them more pronounced. We'll have to see when we get a chance to actually use one. But they also added a couple nice touches into it. For example, there's a groove on the back of the pole, so that cable doesn't have to be wrapped around the light pole anymore. Now it can go and like fit nicely in that little groove. They added little measurements to the side, so if you've got 2, you can make sure that they are the exact same height. I'm not saying any of those things are like game changers, but I do appreciate the attention to detail. The third one was something new. The Elgato 4K 60S Plus. It's a 4K 60 FPS HDR USB-C capture card that can actually capture in 4K 60. As far as I'm aware, the very first one that can do that. But there's something else about it that made it really interesting. The device itself has built-in recording functionality with an SD card slot in the front and a record button. Essentially, it's a mini computer and encoder built inside the capture card so that you can record without the need of either a second PC or running OBS on your main PC. So the purpose of this being, if you're a gaming YouTuber and you go to an event, you go to a conference, you go to a tournament and you need to record gameplay footage, or maybe you want to record your gameplay footage of the event, you plug your gaming PC into this capture card, plug in a little SD card, and hit record, and you're good to go. It's recording for you. I think that's pretty cool. And I talked to the guys for a while about it, and they were excited to tell me about some of the intuitive features that really make it completely independent from a second PC, which, by the way, you can plug it into a second PC and use it as a capture card. But when it's being used independently, they really made sure that it was actually an independent device. For example, if you've got 2 different SD cards, maybe one's the massive 1 terabyte card and you want to crank the bit rate all the way up to max, because you've got a whole terabyte of space. And then you pull that one out and plug in a 32 gigabyte card, and you need to turn down the bit rate for, saving space. It'll actually memorize the 2 SD cards. It'll turn up the bit rate on the 1 terabyte, turn down the bit rate when you plug in the 32 gigabyte. I think if you're trying to cut the cord from a PC, functions like that really come in handy. I thought that was really smart. Now, before you go out and buy one to replace your 4K 60 Pro, just know there are still some advantages to the Pro. For example, the way they get that 4K 60 footage to travel through USB-C, they had to use the internal encoder to encode it into a slightly smaller file. This can't get done instantly, so if you're looking at the capture footage in OBS, you're gonna see about a 200 millisecond delay. You don't get that instant game view or game capture view, whatever they call it, that your other capture cards are going to get. Also, it's not capable of high refresh rates, so anything over 60 FPS, it's not going to be capturing. Definitely going to be really interesting to see if either traveling content creators or tournament players start to take advantage of this and bring this where they go to capture their footage for content later. Now, before they ended the conference, they teased another product coming out later this year, and I feel like they tried to make it really subtle, but I feel like it was a little more obvious than they think it was. The teaser shows some really cool Apple-esque footage, but then one thing in particular, it shows a turn knob and it says voice, game, music, system, chat. I think it showed 6 different sources that are clearly audio sources, and then some wobbly lines that look like audio waves, right? It looks like the product is a USB microphone with built-in Go XLR functionality, which could be really great, or it could be they tried way too hard to do too many things in a single device and it just doesn't work very well. We won't know until we actually get our hands on one. But just from the get-go, if they did manage to make a USB microphone with multiple sources that you could control independently, so you can change your game volume, change your team volume, change your microphone volume, all from this one device. Plus, obviously, I assume they're gonna use their Stream Deck for more functionality for changing the volume of one or muting a certain source. I think if you combine a microphone with this capabilities with the Stream Deck, I think you could do something really powerful. What I'm hoping that they don't do is make everything controlled by the button on the microphone. If every time I want to change the volume of my teammates, I have to click the button to change to Discord input and then move it, I'm never gonna do it. However, if they can use the Stream Deck and either, switch to source on the Stream Deck and then use the knob, I still feel like if I'm fiddling, that's the word I'm looking for. If I'm fiddling with the microphone, you're gonna get those noise that you get when someone's like touching the microphone. I'm hoping they can integrate all of this functionality into the Stream Deck. If they do that, I think this will become the entry-level microphone that, depending on the price point. If it's still $300, then at that point, just get a Go XLR Mini and a $100 microphone. But if they can get it down to under $200, maybe under $150, and you've got that kind of functionality and you can use your current Stream Deck that most streamers already have, you're gonna be doing some really cool stuff. And I see it being the entry-level microphone to get. I know it would definitely, as long as it sounds good, I know it would definitely be the one that I suggest. And because the main concern that streamers have in the Go XLR is its price point, if they price this down low, I don't think it's really gonna be a direct competitor to the Go XLR. Just with the Go XLR being a more premium model with hardware faders, and being able to plug in an XLR microphone, this being kind of the entry level, filling that niche, that hole that Go XLR hasn't filled yet. It could be a really cool device. Anyway, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what they announce in the future. The sun is gone. I gotta end this video. I'm gonna be here at CES tomorrow and the next day. I'm gonna be finding the coolest tech for gamers and streamers, uploading videos every day about anything that I feel you guys need to know. And as always, happy streaming.
The very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my car.